What's going on, everybody? It's that boy. I'm back from vacation, bringing the new videos. Hope you guys enjoy this one. This is the first one I'm doing of its type. It's a video where I pick an NBA topic and I discuss it. I drop my knowledge, my insight, my biases, whatever you want to call them, on a certain topic. Today I want to talk about the MVP race. The MVP race this year is absolutely crazy, so let's get into this. But first, let me just say, please follow my social media accounts. You see them on the screen. I'll put them down in the description for you guys. Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube. And obviously like the video. I always appreciate that. This MVP race this year is absolutely crazy. You got a four-man race, and a great case can be made for any player. Obviously, you got Westbrook, Harden, LeBron, and Kawhi. Everyone has their own opinion. I'm going to make a case for all four of them and kind of break down the stats, the numbers, how their teams are doing, etc. But this four-man race this year is the closest the MVP has been for a long time. You can literally make a case for all four players. It's something that has been unprecedented for like 50 or 60 years in the NBA. It's always been like there's one clear front runner, or maybe there's one or two guys competing for the MVP who have a legit case. Like last year, Steph won it unanimously. It wasn't even a race. You know, they had the best record in the league. He was having an unbelievable season. He completely deserved it. And you know, now this year is the complete opposite. You got four guys that you can say all deserve the MVP. Now, like I said, we haven't had a race like this for 50 or 60 years when it comes to MVP. The last time was the 60-61 season where you had Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Oscar Robertson all battling for the MVP. Elgin Baylor could be in there, but he only played about half the game, so he didn't really have a chance. Oscar averaged a triple-double. Wilt averaged 50 and 26 and got fucking robbed. But anyways, this year, you look at the stats. Everyone's having a great season. Obviously, you got Westbrook with a triple-double. James Harden averaging 29, 11, and 8, leading his team, who nobody thought would have, a good season, to potentially a top 3 seed in the West. You got LeBron leading the defending champs as the number 1 seed in the East, going to make it back to the finals most likely. And then you got Kawhi, who's taking this Spurs team, who a lot of people at the beginning of the season didn't think would be that great, and they're competing with Golden State for the number 1 record in the West and in the NBA. So, he's got a great case as well. The first person we're going to talk about, though, is none other than Mr. Triple-Double, Russell Westbrook. This guy is having a great season. Now, let me first touch on this triple-double, because everyone's opinion on this has fucking changed since the beginning of the year. The beginning of the season, everyone was like, holy shit, this guy's averaging a triple-double. It's only been done one other time in league history by Oscar Robertson back in 1960-61 season. And now he's like 60 games into the season, and he's still averaging that triple-double. And people have the fucking audacity to say, oh, bro, he's just stat padding, bro. Like, it doesn't even count anymore. If he wins the MVP, I'm done. Hold on a second. What do you mean he's just stat padding? When he has a triple-double in a game, their record is I believe 25-5. And then when he doesn't have a triple-double, they're like a fucking below 500 team by far. So the triple-double is not just stat padding. It obviously has an effect on whether they win the game or not. Also on this triple-double, if you think people are saying oh, he's just stat padding, anybody could do that. What do you mean anybody could do it? There's only been one person in NBA history to do it so far for an entire season. And we're looking at a guy who's 6'3" point guard in the most competitive era in NBA history in terms of talent. There's never been more talent in the NBA than there is now, especially at the point guard position. That's fact. You can't argue that. And the fact that this guy is still averaging a triple-double 60-something games into the season and is probably going to do it for 82 is crazy. The dude is 6'3", averaging over 10 rebounds per game. His team right now is I believe they're the 6th seed in the Western Conference. Only about 1 game or half a game back from the Clippers to be the 5 seed. And they're only 3.5 back from Utah to be the 4 seed. If this dude averages a triple-double and their team gets the 4th seed, he's the MVP, bro. I don't give a fuck. There's no way you can say they're not. The talent they have on this team to be the 4th seed in the West is 100% Westbrook. And he does something that nobody's done in over 60 years in the NBA. He has to be the MVP if they get that 4th seed. Now, if they stay as the 5th or the 6th seed, it's debatable, bro. I mean, the triple-double is great, but I still value winning. I can still see you making a case for him, even if they're the 5th or the 6th seed, because, bro, what this guy is doing is incredible. The only downside is the efficiency. Obviously, his turnovers are up, but I give him a little bit of a pass for that because he has the ball in his hands so much, but his efficiency in terms of field goal percentage and all that isn't the best either. So that is something you could hold against him. I'll give you that. The next player we're going to talk about, the Claw. Kawhi Leonard from the San Antonio Spurs. This guy's having a great season. Like I touched on in my intro, coming into the season, believe it or not, a lot of experts were saying the Spurs wouldn't be that good this year. You know, they lost Tim Duncan, who, yes, he was by far past his prime, but he was the leader of that team. He held everyone together. He was the glue of the team. Everyone still looked up to Tim. Obviously, he's the greatest power forward of all time. But Kawhi Leonard has stepped up this year, grabbed the reins and said, this is my team. He's leading them, of course, defensively. He's still a great defender. Although, for some reason, their stats defensively as a team are better when he's not on the floor. But I think that's just fluke. He's a great defender. He still is a great defender. He has another chance to win another Defensive Player of the Year. I think he won it back-to-back times. He could win it 3 times in a row. But offensively is where he's really transformed his game. He's hitting clutch shots for this team. He's, having a career high in points per game. It's the first time you've seen, the Spurs in years ever, run plays to ISO somebody, and it's for Kawhi, except, obviously the ISO in the post sometimes for Duncan back in the day and Aldridge still today. But as a perimeter player, you never see them run ISO for any player, and that's what they're doing with Kawhi. Obviously, they still have their system, and they move the ball really well. You see here on back cuts and alley-oops and all that shit. But they really do look to Kawhi to score for them. They know that he's their best player, not only defensively anymore, but also offensively. The thing I really like about Kawhi is how efficient he is. You look at Harden, Westbrook, those guys, they're somewhat inefficient. As great of players as they are, their field goal percentage, their turnovers, those things are really high. Kawhi is a very, very efficient player. He's a player that, you could put him on any team in the NBA and he will help you win a championship. There's no way he will, deter you from that championship path because he's so efficient and he's a great player on both ends of the floor. You can say he's the best two-way player in the game now, and you can make a case for him. Obviously you got guys like LeBron and Klay Thompson's a great two-way player, and Jimmy Butler's a great two-way player. But you can make the case against anybody that Kawhi is the best two-way player in the game. Meaning, if you combine what he brings offensively and defensively, he could be the best. I'll still take LeBron, but you can make the case for Kawhi. Now again, this guy is leading a team that a lot of experts said wouldn't be that good to compete with Golden State. They actually took over the 1 seed for a little while. I believe it was just a night, and now they're back to the 2 seed as I make this video. But just the fact that they're competing with a team as good as Golden State. I know Kevin Durant got injured, but they're still a great team, and they're going to win a ton of games. Kawhi's leading the Spurs team to compete with them, and he's having a career year in terms of his numbers. So I think he has a great case for MVP. The next player, James Harden. What this guy is doing with this roster in Houston is unbelievable, honestly. This guy's taking a team that not only I thought, but a lot of people thought were going to be garbage. I was like, damn, they lost Dwight, and obviously I'm a Lakers fan, so, I don't hold Dwight in the highest regards, but he is one of the best centers in the NBA still, even though he's nothing like he used to be. But I looked at this roster and I'm like, wow, it's just literally James Harden and nobody. And he's going to lead them to most likely a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. And that is honestly remarkable. They got Mike D'Antoni, which, again, I'm a Lakers fan, so I don't hold Mike D'Antoni in the highest regard. But he's going to be Coach of the Year, no doubt about it. For what him and Harden have done with this team is crazy. You literally have James Harden and then a bunch of shooters. And then obviously you got Nene, and I think they have another big man as well. I can't think of his name. But essentially it's a bunch of shooters and James Harden, and he's going to be a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. It's unbelievable. He's averaging a career high in a lot of categories, including assists. I believe he's 11 or 12 assists per game. Now with Mike D'Antoni, a lot of people are making the argument that his system of all offense and fast pace and don't play defense like he ran with the Suns, it skews the point guard's stats. It inflates them, and he moved James Harden to point guard, so obviously his stats are going to go up. And yeah, I get that, but still, this dude's averaging like 29 and 11 and 8 rebounds, and his team is winning. You can't say he doesn't have a great case for the MVP. Plus, you talk about, the point guard stats are always inflated under D'Antoni. For example, Steve Nash. People refer to Steve Nash as one of the best point guards in NBA history, and James Harden is doing more with less than Steve Nash did. So you can't say, this guy's not an MVP candidate, hands down. And last, but certainly not least, we got the best player in the world leading the defending champion Cleveland Cavaliers to the number 1 seed in the East. Of course, I'm talking about LeBron James. Now, with LeBron, of course his numbers are, solid yet again. I think it's like 27, 9 assists, 8 rebounds, right around there, which that's a great season. It's almost a triple-double. And you could say, but their record is nowhere close to, the Spurs or the Warriors. And that's true. And they play in the weaker conference. But my whole thing with LeBron is just the way he transforms a team. Like, even the teams that he's on, when he doesn't play for the Cavs, bro, they lose. Like, they're like 4-12 or something when he doesn't play. Like, don't quote me on that. I'm not looking that up. But it's right around there. They have an awful record when he doesn't play. And then when he does play, you know what I mean? They're like 40-something and 15 or whatever. When he plays, they're better offensively. They're better defensively. He literally, I watch The Herd, Colin Cowherd's show. It's a great show. If you guys don't listen to it, watch it. It's a radio show. You watch it on YouTube if you want. Anyways, he calls him the Swiss Army knife of the NBA. And it's the truth, bro. You put him on any team, and that team becomes infinitely better. If they were giving this award to the best player in the world, it would easily go to LeBron, hands down. Statistically this season, he's there. I know we're all getting a little tired of LeBron being the best player in the world and shit. But honestly, he deserves the MVP every year. And this year is no different. He gives your team the best chance to win a championship. And at the end of the day, that's what value is all about in my book, right? If you're looking for a player that's going to give you the best chance to win a championship, you're going to take LeBron James, unless you're just biased against him. Now, does that mean he's going to win the MVP? I don't know. His stats this year are great. His team's winning. They have the best chance to win the championship. I think that's deserving of at least a chance to win the MVP, right? He definitely has a case, even against the triple-double and Harden and Kawhi. He has a great chance to win the MVP. You can't deny that. The MVP this year, to me, is really going to come down to the last game. Once the 82nd game is played in the NBA for each team, then you can finally decide. Right now, I can't pick. It's too close. Everyone has a case. You got Westbrook leading his team to potentially a top 4 seed in the West, averaging a triple-double, only the second time in NBA history. You got Harden leading his team to a top 3 seed, putting up crazy numbers. Kawhi's leading the Spurs to a top 1 or 2 seed in the West. He stepped up his game unbelievably. He's leading that team now. And, of course, you got the King of Akron, best player in the world, giving his team the best chance to win a championship, putting up in almost triple-double numbers himself. The MVP race this year is absolutely crazy. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments about who's going to win the MVP, or at least who you think has the best chance right now. Who's got the best case to win the MVP right now, because obviously there's still, 15, 20 games left in the season, and things can change, so I'm not looking for you to lock your pick in right now. But let me know who you think has the best chance to win the MVP. Who's got the best case? Let me also know if you like this type of video. This is the first one that I'm doing. I love to analyze the NBA and the history of the game and things like that. I watch all the talk shows and You know, I really enjoy it, so I like making these type of videos. But obviously, if you guys don't like them, I'm not going to make them. So let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like. Comment down below that you want to see more videos like this where we talk about NBA topics. If not, just say this shit is trash and don't ever do it again. But still like the video, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate it. Until next time, I'm out, guys. Peace.